Sunny, engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, I basically want to talk about this post on x.com from Gene Investing with Anthony at Gene Investing on x.com, member of our community. And I kind of promised last week or maybe a couple of days ago that I was going to cover this thread when this was posted, and even someone asked me, where is the video? We're still waiting for it, and told them, just wait for it. And here I am on a sunny Saturday. It's kind of sunny here. Lots of snow here in Toronto or in different cities in North America. But it is sunny today, so I'm feeling good. And hopefully this video is good as well. So guys, CRISPR 101, a guide for newbies looking to invest in. And basically this thread goes, it's just a post really that goes over every single company in a very condensed format. And I think it's good sometimes to make these videos because it's one video that covers a couple of companies, covers the landscape, kind of compare what's happening from company to company. And of course, we have to assume that not everybody watching our videos on a daily, weekly, monthly basis understands CRISPR, understands the landscape. I still get questions as to, you know, what would you pick between CRISPR Therapeutics and XYZ company? And obviously people are asking because they're curious, they want more information. And again, we've said this many times, this channel, YouTube, go on YouTube and you will not find that many CRISPR channels. And there's a reason why, right? We're not mainstream yet. There's a bear market, but long term, we believe we'll be in a bull market. We believe it'll hit the S curve and the technology curve. And that's why these videos are so important, because one day there'll be many viewers, not just 200 a day or 300 or even 500 a week, just like we had in our video 2 weeks ago, but it'll be 5,000, 10,000. I strongly believe in it. So let's jump straight into it here. So number one, NTLA, best value. Number two, Prime Medicine, huge potential. Number three, Beam, significant potential. Number four, CRISPR Therapeutics, safest option, huge pipeline. VERV, long-term CV play. CRBU, Biosciences, cheap CAR T play. Editas, not worth your time. I tend to agree with that last description of that last company, which I'm not going to cover even in this channel. I don't have time for that. Putting jokes aside here, let's talk about NTLA here. So pros. Only 3 in vivo pivotal trials in the world, right? Direct drip into the body, 2 to 4 hours patient process. They have a runaway of cash until first half of 2027. So we're looking at pretty much about 2+ years here. And that's for the launch of the first drug that they expect to launch it. So no one has done competition of HAE or ATTR. There is no competition in this space for what they're trying to achieve. A one-time in vivo treatment with the severe patient level that they're treating and so on. ATTR-CM will be about $15 to $20 billion market cap, peak market value or potential target market value. At current prices, the market expects almost no patients to get the best-in-class drug. Treating only 1 patient per year will have a huge multi-bagger. I don't think they're 1%. I don't think they're only gonna treat 1% in 10 years at a time. But even if it's a 1%, look at this, to create a huge multi-bagger. This is what people underestimate. The scale, the economies of scale is in this space is so huge. You don't need to treat all patients, although we would want that, obviously, as a human here, part of society. We want patients to be treated, we want patients to be dosed, but we have to be realistic. There have been no dose cure for them. It's not like in a couple of years we're going to cure all of them. It's not feasible technically, but also commercially, resourcefully. It's just not, doesn't make sense. Now, is it going to be 1%, 2%, 3%? That's up to debate, right? So cons of this company is pipeline, besides 3 lead pivotal trial, is weak. Market hates it, likely because many are invested in competitors. And actually, the last point, I could make the argument for every single technology company. I think there's a lot of hate because people are invested in other companies that are competitors. I mean, you see that with Tesla right now. A lot of people are invested in Uber, kind of bashing Tesla because robotaxi. Same thing with CRISPR, right? There's no difference here. So you gotta listen to signal outside of the noise, right? There's a lot of noise, 90% noise in social media, x.com, Reddit, 90 to 95%. There's maybe 5 to 10% of actual signal, right? You have to look at the signal, guys. Prime medicine, best technology. I tend to agree with that. Prime editors allows them to go for more disease because, of course, their technology should be able to extend runway, of course, commercial deals. I think that's expected. First ever human prime editing data this year, so I'm looking forward for that. Despite likelihood of significant dilution, price is too cheap for the first biotechnology ever. So obviously cheap because we're in bear market. They came public during this bear market, so it kind of makes sense. But I tend to agree with that description. Cons, only 1 year of cash runway. Again, you kind of tackled that with the able to extend the runway, but of course if they don't, that's 1 year of cash. Otherwise they'll have to claim for bankruptcy, right? But I don't think they'll get to that point. Obviously dilution is very likely, heavily. I think I tend to agree with that. CGD, which is of course what they're trying to tackle there with their first program, is relatively small, so the lead program won't be a slam dunk. Fair enough. Will likely have to sell a large amount of programs to gain a better financial position. I think that's for every CRISPR company, but that's a legitimate con, right? Let's move on to the next one here. Beam Pros 302 AAT could be a blockbuster, best in class. That's a huge program, better sickle cell disease than anyone. That's the data they've given so far, which is fair. Again, base editors are a big thing. Still doing ex vivo though. Pfizer deal, Lilly deal equals significant milestone to likely limit dilution. You don't want dilution, right? You want partnerships first, and dilution is the worst case scenario, kind of. So this is good. Should start with no chemo. This is a big selling point for their program, leading program for sickle cell disease. Cons, RNA editing competition in AATD. Many are going for sickle cell disease, which I don't think it's a con, but I can understand why people say that. Tons of writing on 302 success. I mean, that's the thing with CRISPR companies, right? You gotta make sure that you understand the risk you're getting into, right? There's sometimes a single program, if it goes south, that's it, right? That is it. We've seen it with Editas, right? Remember that. So CRISPR Therapeutics, huge amount of cash, huge pipeline. Another pro would be first approved CRISPR therapy. They have the only company in this space to actually make money for the foreseeable future. I mean, for the next year or 2 years, or even 3 years potentially. Cons, only 40% of cash Javai. I don't think that's a con. I kind of disagree with that statement. I think that's a good thing. It shows the partnership they have with Vertex. It shows the confidence that Vertex has, and also shows their willingness to partner their program, give up some percentage to get some upfront cash, invest in other programs. So I disagree with that point. Pipeline has a lot of CAR T. Again, disagreement. CAR T is a huge space. There's a lot involved here. Governments are looking at that space very closely, but I can understand why it's a risky space because the data so far, it's been average from what I've seen. Pipeline has CV copycats of VERV. Okay. Not sure. I mean, you could make the argument for basically every sickle cell disease company's tackling, right? So I'm not sure if that's a valid con, but so VERV, use base editing from Beam. That's a big one, of course. Could be a con though, because you're kind of licensed out, but highly specialized in CV, backed by Eli Lilly and Vertex. There's a big, large total addressable markets. Obviously, heart disease are no jokes. It's the leading cause of death in America and many countries around the world. First program that had safety concern, that was a big one. I remember that was a big issue. They kind of had to pivot. Things are looking good right now, so I think it's fine to have bumps in the road here and there, but again, what I said previously matters. Every single bump matters, right? It's not like a couple of % off. We're talking maybe delays of months and potentially years of getting it approved. People have to be mindful of that. And then last company I'm going to cover, because like I said, I'm not going to cover it as us. Caribou is cheap as hell, I agree. It's very cheap. Very, very cheap. Spends much less than others in the space. They're lean, they're efficient. Again, they have their own Chardonnay's RDNA technology that they claim that is superior than the CRISPR-Cas9, for example, the first gen, kind of on the level of base editing type of efficiency, which again, they haven't claimed that or so on. I'm just saying it's like the Gen 2 level. They're also one of the oldest companies in the space. In fact, they are the oldest CRISPR company, not the oldest public company, but they are the oldest company in this space. Because they went public in 2021, which obviously by then you had other CRISPR companies, but they are the oldest company. They have experience. They're backed by Jennifer Doudna, Nobel Prize winner. They have the still founder and CEO of this company, Rachel, and again, CAR-T space is what they're betting on. Again, that is a con. It's highly competitive, but again, there's a reason why it's highly competitive, right? It's hard to differentiate. I'm not sure if it's hard to differentiate. They do have a selling point of one-time in vivo treatment. I mean, that's their selling point there. So there's something to be said about that. I think there's people have to be reminded that CAR-T is a big space. Okay, cancer, there is no cure for cancer. There have been a couple of things approved, but it's not a one-time cure. This company promises a one-time cure. You do it once, that's it, that's all. You move on to the next patient. That's a huge selling point, and I'm not sure if that's a con. I think that would be more of like a pro, but of course, it is a risky space. They're betting on CBO10, which is their program for CAR-T. They're betting on that program. Data, from what I've understood so far, it's average/above average. Now, is that gonna get the FDA attention? I think so. We'll see what happens. I want to get some updates from this company. I think CRBU deserves to be higher in this list because of the valuation, right? Which is what Anthony just said here. Cheap as hell. It is cheap as hell. I think they have cash in the balance sheet. I think about short of $200 million cash, I think. And the market cap is less than 400 million or something insane like that. Just think about that, right? I think they're worth more. I think they have something boiling. I kind of feel this coming again. I don't have inside information. Just the way this is gonna play out. They haven't really announced any partnership. They haven't really announced anything crazy. I think 2025 is the year that changes. So, guys, hopefully you guys appreciate this. I kind of went through this post here. A very nice summary by Gene Investing. Very nice condensed summary of each of these companies, their ranking according to him. I tend to agree with that list, although I would put CRISPR Therapeutics a little bit above, probably Prime a little bit below, because I think Prime has still a lot more to prove. CRBU above VERV in my safest opinion. Again, I don't even know if it's a ranking, actually. When you think about it, it's not really a ranking. He never claimed that it was a ranking. So, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think. A lot of information here, condensed, kind of covered all these companies in one single go. I wanted to do that for you guys, for newbies, but it's fine to be a newbie. I was a newbie once. I'm learning every single day. I'm still learning every single day. I'm still a student in the game. So, guys, if there's anything, let me know in the comments below. Please subscribe, like this video, guys. It puts our videos on people's homepage. Our views have been good. 24 hours, we're getting over 200 views. There's lots of attention, lots of appetite for this CRISPR landscape. Let's get that rolling, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a beautiful Saturday. Thank you.